I want to welcome everybody to the September 11th regular meeting of the Common Council. It is now 7:01 and time for public comment. We'll begin public participation now. Please remember to state your name and address clearly for the record. Limit your speaking time to 3 minutes. And I'm going to call from the list, and if anyone has not signed up but wishes to speak, please step forward when there's an opening. Our first speaker tonight is Gaetano De Pietro.
Thank you. Well, first of all, people, thank you for the opportunity to get here in front of the council and speak to you. So my name is Gaetano De Pietro. I own a property, 194 Overlook Avenue, New Britain. And the reason why I'm here today is the ongoing flooding issue that I've been having at that residence for the past 44 years. And what I have to say, when it came to the claim hearing last week, that most of you guys were there, it was the first time that I felt that I was being heard, having empathy. And to me, when it comes to these flooding situations, it's the human aspect that I really know. My mom is here. She's been dealing with this. My dad is not here with us anymore. Thank you, McNamara, when you told us that, there is a project and maybe we're going to get an outcome tonight. I know on the 19th, there's going to be talks about, going forward. I know you guys had bids. So for me, it's more about seeing progress. I know that we're all busy here. I'm a reasonable person, and all we want is to get a resolution, get the problem fixed. When I see other projects being done around New Britain, when it comes to the public parks and millions of dollars updating, I want it to be where let's fix problems. I understand that those parks are important for the kids, for our future, for families to, partake in those exercises there. But let's come up with a solution here, because this is only one step. What about the devaluation of these properties? Because this is a problem that the town has known for decades, and nothing was ever done. And now we're in this position here. So to me, it's like, I appreciate you guys taking the time, taking those meetings. I just want to see progress being made. And Erin, she has my number, my email. I'm a reasonable person. I just want to come up with some solutions, and whatever feedback I can get from you guys, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. De Pietro. Hold your applause till the end. No, thank you. Our next speaker is Jacek Orzo.
Good evening. My name is Jacek Orzel, Jacek, for the Polish people in here. I'm at 1 Sealander Street. I live in Plainville, but that is a property I own. I've got 2 tenants there. So I'm also here to talk about flooding. This is an area where we flood chronically. I'm beginning to learn a lot about the city claim process, because I've filed a number of claims. I've been filing claims, I guess, since 2011 and 18. We had 3 floods last year, and then this year we've had 2 floods. I'm still waiting to resolve a claim from last year. It's frustrating. I guess the point of my conversation is to just express a little bit of the human problem. As a landlord, I have to offer my tenants space, like offer them quiet enjoyment and a safe place. I do pay sewer bills and stuff like that, but then I do experience, at least in the last 2 years, major flooding, like the sewers come into my house. That's not a service that I would expect. It would be, if this were a commercial operation, somebody would be fired, or a service could be, discontinued or something. We can't do that with the city. We're looking for, I guess just awareness and understanding. My tenants are very good. They work with me. They could actually probably sue me for the breach of this, what I provide them. They could just leave and vacate my premises. I'd be out of revenue. I'm not sure what happened. Anyways, what I'm concerned about also is, as I deal with these issues over the years, sometimes I just want to leave and sell the place, but I I'm reminded I can't even sell the place because I have to disclose that the place floods. It's not a comfortable position. I'm actually trapped in this home. Even if if the issues around the area are resolved, I still have to disclose that there's flooding. There's no real resolve. If we fix everything perfect, I still have a devalued property. I don't know where I can turn to in the city. I can go to file a claim, I suppose, but that's, in my experience, the claims have been paid as if, simple damages, a little bit of labor, So I'm kind of at a loss. I'm sure that I'll evolve that answer at some point, but that is a problem I face, and I'm sure many others, probably Nino here too. I've got nothing else to comment. Thank you for your time and listening.
Thank you, Jason. Next speaker is Frank Chase.
Frank Chase, 24 Roxbury. We hope the Overlook McKinley Drainage Project and the on-call engineering for Allen Street will be adopted at this council meeting tonight. We have received no updates from Director Moriarty regarding the conditions and the status of the Hampton Eaton subbasin. We've been waiting for 10 months. A suitable closed-circuit TV inspection and/or flow monitoring is required to identify inflow, infiltration, and deterioration in the Hampton Eaton subbasin. As Director Moriarty has noted, he is not sure if the Allen Street project completion will correct all of the flooding issues in the affected neighborhoods. Therefore, logically, we're asking for Moriarty's immediate follow-up regarding the condition of the Hampton Eaton subbasin, as he promised to do back in December of 2023. Alderpersons Saavedra and McNamara have copies of the email from Moriarty stating this. To date, Moriarty has been silent. As responsible property owners, we cannot proceed with our planned property mitigation, repair, replace plans until we know the true status of the city-operated storm sewer system serving our neighborhood. Moriarty was silent for years regarding the Allen Street problem. Looks like we have more of the same with the Hampton Eaton problem. Our restoration experts are reluctant to estimate our needs, and they are unwilling to warranty their work because of the ongoing flooding and the threat of further damage. There are no public updates available regarding the Allen Street design schedule progress as noted in item number 4 in your hard copies. Excuse me. Will the Allen Street project be shovel-ready by April of 2025? Why is Cardinal Engineering asking for $80,000 more to complete their engineering work? All unanswered questions. As you all know, we are pressing the governor and our interested legislators for a $9.7 million state bonding initiative so we can keep the Allen Street project on schedule. 50-plus properties in our neighborhoods are affected by this flooding. There will be 2 to 3 or more years of tropical rainy flooding seasons as we wait for the funding, planning, and construction. We do not want the Allen Street project to be lost in the fiscal shuffle once again. Back in 2013, the current mayor was elected and had a $6.7 million Cardinal Engineering plan ready to go for Allen Street. Nothing happened. Now we have an updated $13.9 million Cardinal Engineering plan plus fees waiting for execution. This must not be another missed opportunity. We have a long way to go to protect and preserve our properties and structures. Where is the promised transparency from our elected and appointed city officials? All of these flooding concerns and related damage are beyond our control. Regardless of the age of our structures, the needless wear and tear in and around our structures is accelerated by this out-of-control flooding water. Accelerated foundational and structural flooding deterioration is happening because of our compromised, outdated, and undersized storm sewer system. The flooding is not an act of God. Our officials are responsible for this neglect, mismanagement, and damage to our properties and structures. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Next up is John Christopik.
John Christopik, 292 Linwood. 9/11, never forget. Keeping with the water theme, I have some questions. Finally, street flooding is not being overlooked. with the project on Overlook Avenue hopefully being okayed. 2 years of paying the $18.75 quarterly fee for the Clean Water Fund, which is over $1 million per year. Is this separately accounted for? There is in your water bill, there is a flat fee of either $13.50 for a half-inch line or $20 for a 3/4 inch line. It has been described to me as a meter charge or a line charge. I feel this should be listed separately, not included in the water charge. That amounts to over $700,000 a year. A few months ago, there was a request to purchase new water meters. Does that come out of the water department budget or the city budget? Does the city clean catch basins once a year, as outlined in the Connecticut Guidance for Municipal Management Practices for Street Cleaning and Catch Basin Cleaning, CTMS4 Stormwater Permit? During the last few weeks, I have seen city workers in our neighborhood working on the water shutoffs to the residences in between the streets and the sidewalk. There are quite a few damaged covers in our area. Our house had a damaged pipe, and I ended up myself putting a plastic cover on it. A while ago, it was mentioned that the water department could not account for 1 million gallons of water per day. Has there been any progress on that? It's good to see that the Brit has received a certificate of occupancy. Coming from the Beehive Bridge, the outside of the high railer does not look very inviting. Torn plastic, the signs in disassemble. It's not a very good look. And I just noticed the neon on Bank Street. Well, it says no Brit. That's already broken. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your questions, Mr. Kristovic. I have no more names on the list. Is anybody remote? Nobody remote? Does anybody else wish to speak to the council? Public comment.
I wasn't gonna, but I couldn't resist. Paul Catanzaro, 250 Hillhurst Avenue. Good evening. On this solemn day of 9/11, may we never forget. Attended a beautiful ceremony this morning with our police, firefighters, and EMS. And there's members of all three of them that were fighting in the war on terror with our armed forces. I saw a few there from this council, not as many as I would have liked to see, and I understand everybody's working. But this is something that the worst tragedy we haven't seen in our history. Because unless you're over 95 years old, you don't remember Pearl Harbor. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to speak about resolution number 7, the extension of New Britain EMS contract. As an original employee of New Britain EMS in 1978, I'm very proud to say that many times. And in case you don't know, New Britain EMS is one of the premier emergency medical services in our state, if not farther. They are looked upon all over as one of the best. I couldn't be prouder to be the original member of New Britain EMS. I know this is a no-brainer, it's probably not going to have any issues, but It was a long time coming. It was a lot of fighting when we took it over from the New Britain PD, and nothing against them, God bless them. They did a great job for so many years. But it was time, you know, things were changing. You had to get medical certifications and on and on. And even when I was on, there was very few paramedics, none in New Britain. Now they're everywhere, thank goodness. And I say this to so many people from our surrounding towns that talk about us in maybe not the best light. I said I wouldn't live anywhere else. I was born and raised here. It's the greatest place to grow up. But what I like and love the most for me and my family is when I dial 911, one of the 3 services is at my house in 3 minutes or less. And you can't get that everywhere. So I urge adoption, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Canzaro. I have no more names on the list, but does anybody else wish to speak? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Hearing none, we're going to declare public participation over. Now I'd like to invite any of the alder people to address anything they've heard here at public participation. Alderman Simpson.
Thank you. Just really quickly, thank you for everybody who came out. I say this at every council meeting to everybody who comes out and speaks. Like, I know you guys have lives you're taking away from to be here, and as a body that doesn't see so many faces very often, it's very warming to see people interested in what's going on in the backyard. I did have a piece of information to offer folks who are concerned about the devaluation of their property, not only for flooding, but just in general. There is a local elected body you guys can go to have your assessments essentially revalued. You can make your case there. It's called the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's a body that I, along with I think 3 or maybe 4 other counselors, have served on before. So I would refer you guys to the assessor's office. They meet in March and September. Considering they're meeting now for September, I would anticipate an appointment being made either in March or September of next year. But my point of reference for you guys is to go to the assessor's office. They're on the first floor when you walk in the front doors of City Hall, immediately to the right. And to answer Mr. Christopik's question on the Clean Water Fund, the Clean Water Fund is calculated separately. So it's not particularly based on property's usage. It's based on what's called the impervious, thank you. There's impervious, impermeable, they're interchangeable if you hear that going forward. But it's calculated based on impervious surfaces that aren't the building. So in layman's terms, how much parking lot do you have will determine what you're paying in to the Clean Water Fund. So I just wanted to offer that, if that gives any clarification. And in terms of new meters, I'll take a look at which budget that comes out of. I would expect the water department, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any other comments? Alderwoman Scott.
Hi, everybody, and like Alderman Simpson just stated, I'm really excited to see so many people here. We appreciate you coming out. And I always try to address everybody that comes. The first speaker that spoke about the flooding, thanks for talking about that. Jason, thanks for coming out on behalf of your tenants and making sure that it's safe for them. Frank, of course, he's always doing his hard work, getting us all this information, and we appreciate it. John, thanks for talking about 9/11, and I think Paul also spoke about that, so thanks for talking about 9/11. It was a really, really traumatic day. I'll never forget where I was that morning. I was watching as it happened, and I think most of us who saw it will never forget where we were or what was happening when that took place. So it's extremely sad to think about that memory. And thank you. I think that's it, but I wanted to talk about the flooding. So I don't know if most people know, I have flooding in my house as well. And it is absolutely terrifying when you go into your basement and you have to clean all of this water. Sometimes I've had up to 3 feet of water in my home. This has happened several occasions. It is extremely dangerous. We had a few deaths here in Connecticut and Oxford recently when we had the flash floods. And so I think that's something that here in New Britain we need to be concerned about. As I'm driving down Allen Street, I can barely drive. It's flooding so badly, it's dangerous for cars. It's dangerous for us when we're in our homes. Someone could fall. I mean, all kinds of things can happen where I just feel like it's a health issue. It's just so many issues that are coming with that. And like Alderman Simpson said, I was on the Board of Assessment and Appeals as well. And I know a lot of people don't know about that board, but it's important if you're a homeowner to know about that board. You can also get your cars reevaluated as well, your car taxes, but definitely look into that because we are constantly having damage to our homes when we're getting flooded this way. So I just wanted to make sure I spoke on that, and thank you everybody for coming. Keep coming when you have concerns. Your voice is heard here. We hear you, and we appreciate you. So thank you.
Alderwoman Valencia Pedro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So for the Overlook people, it's really exciting. We have a $2 million expenditure on tonight's agenda to move forward with the Overlook McKinley project, and that should happen this fall. So we are moving forward. Yes, a long time coming, but just to say, I can't answer questions, but maybe through our discussion in the meeting, it will answer it, or I could talk to you afterwards. But we are moving forward with that project, and it should be ready to go. If we allocate this tonight and they could award the bids, then we'll be ready to go for this fall. So I'm happy about that. The Allen Street project is taking a little longer because we are attempting to secure funds. The city has identified our portion of the funding, and we're working with the state delegation to get the remainder of the funds through bonding through the state of Connecticut. And I myself have been in touch with Representative Manny Sanchez to ask him where that stands. So for the Allen Street folks, it's taking a little longer to put the money together, but McKinley and Overlook are going, but we are aware of and working on Allen Street. And I did want to say, because a lot of times people are talking about the lack of infrastructure projects. We do a lot of infrastructure here in New Britain. It might not be touching your specific neighborhood in a specific point in time, but there is a lot of infrastructure. And on tonight's agenda, we actually have a $13 million expenditure going on that has to do with sewer and water infrastructure. And it's a multi-phase replacing and relining the sewer system throughout the city of New Britain. So that is underway through the Flush program, which is that little assessment that you see on your water bill that goes into Flush. And that really is a mandate, as a matter of fact, an environmental mandate for us to follow. So we are working on it, and nothing ever happens at the speed when you're in need. But I just want to say to the people who came out, we're aware of your issues, and we're working on it. Overlook, it's a more positive answer that we have because that project is ready to go, but we will not forget Allen Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Other members wish to comment? Other members? President Santiago.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to apologize. I wasn't here earlier enough to hear some of the concerns that was taken, but I did hear Nico at previous time. Actually, I was here my first time as councilman when his response about 6 years ago, exactly. And I'm glad to hear that some of the things are being addressed. And again, some of them are in this meeting that we'll be addressing those issues. And for everyone else that came for their concerns, we hear you. We do hear you. I know some expected to do faster than others, but some things is monetary. We have to get the money, the funds to do it, and we're working on it. And I could vouch for Sharon on this one, definitely, that she has been reaching out to State Representative Manny Sanchez on their concerns on a weekly basis. So that being said, that I could vouch for that. And 9/11, Yes, I was actually in upstate New York when that happened. We had no service, so we didn't get to know about it until we actually got service, and it was just chaotic going to New York that day. So that did touch me. I'm just even shaking thinking about it, because it was something that I don't think anybody was expecting. And families that lost through there from between the emergency responders, military, going in and out, even civilians that went in and out to sacrifice themselves for the betterment of man. It was something that it was terrible. I did pass by just to give my respects at Central Park, and it was a beautiful ceremony I saw from far. And again, rest those souls that from 9/11. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Seeing no further comments, I'd just like to, two things with regard to Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra's report. Our state bond for the Allen Street project is going to go before the 25 legislature and the bonding committee, I believe. And that will be a bill for all of us to get behind, and the administration and the council are working to bring more resources to the problem that I hope you'll be hearing about in the coming weeks and months. So on that score, and if you can stay for the meeting, President Santiago has a resolution commemorating 9/11 and what happened 23 years ago. I believe there were no other comments. So with that, public participation is an end. It's now 7:27. The regular meeting will begin shortly. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to officially call this meeting of the New Britain Common Council to order. The time is 7:35 p.m. The date, September 11th, 2024. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderpersons McNamara.
Here?
Smedley. Sanchez. Beloin Saavedra. Simpson.
Present.
Russell. Barbosa. Hargraves. McAdam. Gibson. Scott.
Here.
Connors. Malinowski. Pabon. Santiago.
Present.
15 present, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Can we all please rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let us pray. O God, our Heavenly Father, help us live in a free, peaceful, and tolerant world. Remind leaders of our principles to protect the inalienable rights that you have given us. As we mark the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks, look down on the brave men and women who dedicate their lives to protect us, both foreign and domestic. We ask this in thy name. Amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Alderman Santiago this evening for a point of personal privilege.
Thank
for
you, Your
some
Honor.
friends that we have here. You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Today is a great honor to recognize 3 remarkable young athletes who have achieved outstanding success in the sport of judo. First, I would like to recognize Cameron Jesus Cordona. Cameron's dedication to judo started at the age of 5. It led him to an impressive 8th place ranking in the USA Judo IJF 60 kg division. With over 13 years of hard work and numerous national titles, his achievements speaks for themselves. A 2024 graduate of New Britain High School, where he excelled in wrestling, Cameron is now pursuing a criminal justice degree at Springfield Technical Community College and serves as a New Britain Police Explorer. Good job, bro. Cameron, commend your commitment, discipline, and achievements. Congratulations, we are proud of you. Next, I would like to recognize Christian Alexis Cochordo. I'm sorry to break your, what is it? Cochado, thank you. Cochado, who has achieved the 1st place ranking in the USA Judo Cadet -90 kg division. Christian has been practicing judo since the age of 5, and for the past 10 years, his dedication and hard work has led him extraordinary accomplishments. Now a junior at New Britain High School, where he also excels in wrestling, Christian recently won the U.S. Judo Junior Olympics in Pennsylvania. Congratulations. This victory qualified him for the U.S. national judo team and an opportunity to compete in the Cadet Judo World Championship in Peru. Could I go with you? Well, actually, you just came back from it, didn't you? Yes. Congratulations, Christian, and thank you for making your community proud. Lastly, I would like to recognize Ethan Quiles? What is it? Quiles. I'm Spanish, I can't even say it. I'm sorry, bro. Quiles. The 3rd. We get that right? The 3rd? 3rd generation?
Just call him Pop.
What is it?
Pop.
Oh, Pop. Oh, you know, okay. All right, Pop. A young man who exemplified dedication and excellence. At just 10 years old, Ephraim has been practicing judo for 5 years. Recently ranked 6th place in the 39 kg bantam division and placed 2nd in the Progressive U.S. Open Judo Championship in Fort Lauderdale. Man, that's a good... Man, I'm scared of you kids already. In addition to his athletic achievements, Ephraim is a high honor student at Vance Elementary School and a proud member of the Pals Raiders football team. Woo-hoo. Let's go! Ephraim, you're a shining example of what hard work can achieve, and we are all so proud of you. I do have that citations here. They're not signed yet, so as soon as they're signed, I'll get them delivered to you guys. But if you want to take pictures of it with them, if you want. The whole judo wants to take a picture.
And you want to take those back for 6 years? Yeah, I know. Okay, because they look like they do.
At the judo school on West Main, I think, right? Yeah, I know.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations. Job well done.
He lost at last place. I mean, at the end of it. He lost to a 17-year-old.
Impressive.
Am I correct, Carlos?
Bye, Alfred. All right, I have a few other requests for points of personal privilege this evening, but I'm going to do them at the end. We're going to move on to the approval of the minutes. Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular meeting of August 14th, 2024.
I have a second from Alderman Smedley. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I have no amendments to the agenda, Alderman. Therefore, we will go right into petitions. Mr. Clerk.
Yes, Your Honor, we have two. First one from Alderwoman Scott for the appropriate departments to help support the recognition of Kwanzaa and Hanukkah by displaying the appropriate decorations during the season to go along with the annual tree lighting ceremony.
I will send that to the mayor's office.
Okay, number two from Alderwoman Barbosa for the appropriate departments to conduct inspections and to clear any drainage on Judd Avenue, Market, Abbey, Child Streets. Residents are complaining of backup of the sewer drains and or catch basins in the area.
I'll send that to the Public Works Department.
That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept a consent agenda of items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K.
Second.
I have a second from Alderwoman Sanchez. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk.
Alderpersons McNamara.
Yes.
Smedley. Yes. Sanchez. Yes. Beloin Saavedra.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Russell. Barbosa. Hargraves. McAdam. Gibson. Scott.
Yes.
Connors. Malinowski. Pabon. Santiago.
Yes.
15-0, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Resolution number 1 tonight, Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor. Make a motion to accept and adopt item number 1.
I have a second from Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Hear me well. Read this. I'm sorry. To her honor and the mayor and the common council of the city of New Britain, the undersigned beg leave to recommend the adoption of the following. Whereas many Americans and individuals around the world will never forget the tragic event that took place on September 11, 2001, which shook the core of our great nation. And whereas during these events, the people of this mighty nation joined together to help lift each other up to overcome this country's greatest threat and manifest to the world that man-made disasters and tragedy will not constrain the will of the American people. And whereas through our darkest moments, the lives of many were unjustly taken. However, our resolution to survive, love, and flourish was not diminished. Strengthened, and the foundation of what America was built upon, forever united the American people. And whereas we come together to mourn all that was lost on September 11th, we honor the memory of all those who selflessly gave some pain with their lives to fight such great terror and pay tribute to the role they played in strengthening this tenuous nation. And now therefore be resolved that this Common Council of the City of New Britain recognizes September 11th, 2024 as Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance as a reminder of all that was lost. Gratitude for the many sacrifices made, and to proclaim that the unyielding strength of the United States of America cannot be destroyed by any evil act inflicted on its people, and be it further resolved that the Common Council of the City of New Britain encourage all to show support for this day of remembrance by exhibiting the flag of our great nation, the American flag, outside of our homes, our businesses, our municipality buildings, in honor of many sacrificing of that historic day, and join together to remember this event. Honor all involved, comfort those who need comforting, and show love where there is deficiencies. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this resolution number 1? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And a big thank you to everyone who was a part of putting together this morning's beautiful ceremony. Resolution number 2, Alderwoman Sanchez.
Thank you, Your Honor. I made a motion to accept and adopt item number 2.
Second.
I have a second from Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Thank you. This resolution is in recognition of the Hispanic Heritage Month, and it says like this. To honor the mayor and the common council of the city of New Britain, the undersigned beg leave to recommend the adoption of the following. Whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month is recognized from September 15 to October 15 of each year, granting us as a nation and a community the opportunity to join together and celebrate the diverse culture and acknowledge the abounding achievements and benefactions of all residents with Hispanic roots. And whereas Hispanic individuals like the Borinqueniers, Rita Moreno, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente, Roberto Clemente, Señora Sonia Sotomayor, Familia Cepeda, Yasmín Camacho Quinn, Miguel Cardona, Fernando Valenzuela, Antonia Novello, Chichi Rodriguez, paz descanse, all the Latino delegation in Connecticut, Mr. Raul Ortiz, and to mention a few, they have made major contributions to the development of our country and our city through leadership in government, businesses, education, sports, and the arts. And whereas approximately 54 million Hispanic individuals reside in our country, making those with Hispanic roots the nation's largest ethnic or racial minority, and whereas there are over 2.3 million Hispanic-owned businesses which have generated over $350.7 billion in our national economy, making them an asset to our economic health. And whereas the city of New Britain is honored to be a home to such an illustrious population and proudly recognizes all the accomplishments Hispanic men and women have made in developing this community, and now therefore be resolved that the city of New Britain proclaims September 15, 2024 to October 15, 2024 as Hispanic Heritage Month, and encourage all the residents to celebrate with appropriate programs and activities that memorialize the contribution of Hispanic individuals to our nation and our community. Can I read it in Spanish?
Sure.
Thank you. Esta resolución es para enfatizar el mes de la hispanidad, el cual celebra desde septiembre 15 a octubre 15 todos los años a nivel mundial, dándonos como nación y como comunidad la oportunidad de celebrar juntos las diferentes culturas y reconocer los abundantes logros y beneficios de todos los residentes con raíces hispanas. Individuos hispanos, como los que mencioné, han hecho importantes contribuciones al desarrollo de nuestro país y nuestra ciudad. Aproximadamente 54 millones de hispanos viven en esta nación, haciéndonos al grupo racial más grande. Cabe mencionar que existen más de 2.3 millones de negocios con dueños hispanos que han generado más de 350.7 billones de dólares a nuestra economía. La ciudad de New Britain se honra de ser el hogar de tan ilustre población, lo cual cuenta con el más del 40% y reconoce con orgullo todos los logros de mujeres y hombres alcanzados en el desarrollo de esta comunidad.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on resolution number 2? Alderwoman Scott.
I just wanted to stand in support of this resolution, and that was absolutely beautiful, Ms. Alderwoman Sanchez. And I know that you have a celebration that you're probably going to have this year, and I just want to recommend that everybody go to it, that it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll help people to share the celebrations for this month here in New Britain. So.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman McAdam, item number 3.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 3.
Second from Alderman Santiago.
This is a motion to recognize blood cancers currently afflict more than 1,129,000 people in the United States, with an estimated 149,000 new cases diagnosed each year. An estimated 1,940 cases diagnosed in Connecticut alone each year. Leukemia, lymphoma, and melanoma will kill an estimated 54,630 people in the United States and an estimated 640 people in Connecticut this year. And whereas Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, through voluntary contributions, is dedicated to finding cures for these diseases through research efforts and the support for those that suffer from them, whereas LLS maintains an office in Connecticut to support patients with these diseases and their family members, and whereas the City of New Britain is similarly committed to the eradication of these diseases and supports the treatment and care of its citizens that suffers from them. The City of New Britain encourages private efforts to enhance research funding and education programs that address these diseases. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of New Britain joins with LLS in designating the month of September 2024 as Leukemia, Lymphoma, and Myeloma Awareness Month to enhance the understanding of blood-related cancers and to encourage voluntary participation in activities, support, education programs, and the funding of research programs to find a cure for them.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on item number 3? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to accept and refer item number 4 to PZ&H.
Second.
I have a second from Alderman Smedley.
Okay. This is just establishing a procedure for naming or renaming city-owned or controlled buildings, facilities, or subsections thereof.
Okay. Any questions on the referral? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, Alderman Connors.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 5.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Gibson.
Thank you. This resolution provides for The implementation of the Every Kid Counts after-school program at Lincoln Elementary School, offering academic support, enrichment, recreation and wellness, and family engagement for students in grades 3 through 5. It's paid for through a HUD grant with funding allocated for personnel, program supplies, and associated costs totaling $19,400 for July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 25. Program will enhance after-school opportunities for school youth by providing safe and supportive environment focused on education, recreation, family involvement, and I urge adoption of the resolution for all these reasons.
Thank you, Alderman Connors. Any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Simpson, item 6.
Thank you, Your Honor. I rise to accept and adopt item number 6.
I have a second from Alderwoman Sanchez.
Thank you. This is a grant given to the city of New Britain upon our acceptance for $150,000 for Slade and Pulaski Middle School, and it will help after-school programs and allow students to achieve their academic efforts and endeavors, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Simpson. Any other questions or comments on this item? I just want to give a big thank you to the American Savings Foundation for always supporting our after-school programs through the Exercise the Right Choice program. We are very grateful for their support and continual support year after year. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Connors, item number 7.
Thank you again, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept item number 7 and refer to the Committee on Administration, Finance, and Public Law and Public Services.
Second.
I have a second from Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Thank you. This resolution provides for the extension of the agreement between New Britain Emergency Medical Services and the City of New Britain, consolidating all previous agreements into one document and extending the partnership for 2 additional terms of 5 years each, from October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2034. Paid for through the existing terms of the agreement, which include asset leases, cash flow assistance, property leases managed between the MBMS and the city without requiring additional direct expenditure at this stage. The extension will ensure continuity of essential 911 EMS response services, and as Alderman Catanzaro pointed out, 3 minutes or less. Maintain operational efficiency of the EMS services and safeguard public health in New Britain. And for these reasons, I urge adoption. Referral, thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Connors. Are there any questions or comments on this item? So with us this evening, we do have Chief Bruce Baxter and incoming Chief for New Britain EMS, Patrick Chardulo, recently appointed. Congratulations, Pat. Just want to welcome you to the team. You guys look like father and son sitting there right now. Just like from here. But I just want to wish you congratulations, and I'd be remiss if Chief Baxter didn't come here this evening and not have to come up here for a moment so that I can just embarrass you for one moment, please. Now you know it's good when I didn't write anything, so I'm just going to speak off of my personal experience with you, which may be scary enough. I have known Chief Baxter since I've been a kid. And so when I first became mayor, as I was gathering my own bearings, trying to figure out, how to do things here, Chief Baxter quickly became a person that I knew that I could call on, that I could rely on, somebody who is well respected in our community, not well outside of the emergency medical services realm, somebody who's well respected throughout the state too for the work that you have dedicated your entire life to. As you are retiring and moving on from our community, which I know personally that you love dearly and care deeply about, I just want you to know how much you mean to the city of New Britain, how much you mean to me personally, but the work that you've done here has completely transformed the way that we provide emergency medical services to this community. You were here when we became a first responder. You were here in the driving force, but behind becoming a heart-safe community. You've been here through every piece of the New Britain Recovers initiative. New Britain Recovers would not be as successful as it is today if it weren't for your efforts, your expertise, and the partnerships that you've brought to the table to make it what it is. And for that, I think this community is incredibly, incredibly grateful for all you've done. So I have a plaque for you, but of course. And it says, with our greatest appreciation, the City of New Britain honors Chief Bruce Baxter in recognition of your retirement after 28 years of service and commitment to the New Britain Emergency Medical Services. Mayor Aaron Stewart signed September 11, 2024. Bruce, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Baxter, soon-to-be retired chief of New Britain EMS. I don't know where to start this. 28 years goes pretty rapidly. This is, I believe, the 15th city council that I've worked with, the 4th mayor. When I came here, I figured this was a stopping ground on to bigger jobs elsewhere. And what I wound up finding was a community that has so much going for it that it kind of defies the logic of all the negative comments that you hear around the state about New Britain. You have one of the best environments for public safety. I've worked in this industry for 53 years, and I've worked in all parts of the New England area, done a fair amount of consulting across the United States. I have never worked in a system where the relationship between the mayor's office, the council, the fire department, the police department, the 911 center, public works, parks and recreation, community services, and the police department are seamless. Most communities, you find squabbles, you find discord between the various agencies. On the scenes, outside of an emergency situation, that have never occurred here in my tenure. That is something to be proud of. This is a city that gets incident command better than any community that I have been in. It is seamless. And I have been blessed to end my career here. I don't have anything but good thoughts, good wishes for this community. And as the mayor said, I'm a guy that Lucian Pavlik called the hayseed from New Hampshire when I first came here. And this is a second home to me and always will be. I wish you all well. I wish you good health, good fortune, and fun times. And to my colleagues standing behind me, know that you and your folks that work for you are the best that I've worked with in my entire life. And I wish you the same. Good fortune, good success, and just continue doing what you do. And to my incoming chief, who I couldn't be prouder of, who came out on the top of the pack in the assessment center process, Patrick Chardulu will turn around and take New Britain EMS to the next level. I know he will. I know what he's capable of, and I am sure when he's standing here in 28 years, he will turn around. Yeah, I know, Pat. You'll feel the same way about him. To the mayor, you're the best. You all are the best. Thank you so much for the recognition. Godspeed to you, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.
I'd be more than happy to open it up to anybody who would like to say anything about Chief Baxter. I would also like to tell a story of the time that I rendered first aid to the chief. I have photo evidence. It's proof. I found it. The picture.
Oh my God. The mayor had turned around. I tried to get the mayor to come ride the ambulance, and she said, no, I passed out when I leave. So I walk in her office, and all of a sudden I scratch myself. And she goes, oh, I've been trained. Wait a minute, where's the Band-Aid? She saved my life.
It was going to bleed out. Alderman Smedley.
Thank you. Chief, I just also wanted to convey my sentiment and thank you for the work that you've done for the city over the years. I've had a chance to work in partnership with you through multiple pathways, the school district, 911 center, police explorers, on the city council. You've always been a gentleman, true to your word, and you've led your department with professionalism and have been well respected amongst your crew and staff members. So thank you for what you do, what you did, and what you'll continue to do. Thank you.
Alderwoman Sanchez.
Mr. Baxter, the only thing I want to say is thank you for saving my mom's life.
Oh.
It was our pleasure. Thank you. And I hope she's doing very well.
She's still with us. She's going to be 71.
And I hope she does another 50 years.
Thank you.
So sweet. Anyone else? All those in favor of, I'm sorry, Alderman Russell.
Chief, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to miss not calling you weekly, and it's been a pleasure. You're next. Thank you.
All those in favor of the referral, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Chief. Item number 8, Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 8.
I have a second from Alderman Simpson.
There's a public bid number 4181 and 4183. On-call electricians, HVACs, plumbing, building envelopes, masonry and interior repairs, and supplies for city and CSD&B buildings, not to exceed a project cost of $100,000, and urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Santiago. Are there any questions or comments on this item?
I do. Is
Okay.
someone here?
I think Jared's here. Jared Cox? Sorry, I can't see you behind there.
Oh, Jared, I said Eric.
Wouldn't you be like, what do I know about this?
I was thinking about the chief, and I thought I heard Eric.
He was hoping to.
Jared. I got it.
Can we answer the question?
I know. Now I just want to see how Eric answers
Yeah,
it.
that's nice. Just one question. Why is it 100,000 exceeding 100,000?
When we, in preparation to this bid, we walked through all of our city facilities, most of them, not all, and kind of looked at what could possibly go wrong. We hope to never go near $100,000, but if a boiler were to go down in the middle of February, or a rooftop unit AC chiller would go down in the middle of summer, we want to be able to have that $100,000 that gets close to that. Again, we hope to never go near that. It's just a little security blanket.
All right. I just, because again, 100,000 was like, whoa. I mean, if we look at any other on-call, it's about 50,000, 7,500. So 100,000 was like, hey, it's too much, way too much for us to be, allowing for a department to be able to control 100,000 without having to come over here. I mean, a little bit conservative when it comes to money, so.
No, understood,
All right.
but definitely.
Thanks.
No problem.
Any other questions?
Mayor,
Alderman McNamara?
thank you. I just want to follow up. Is this the equivalent to the Public Works Department having on-call services or not?
Not necessarily. We still would be getting quotes from the contractors on this bid list, keep it competitive, and it's similar to a roofing bid we did about 3 years ago. It's since expired, and that's why we included roofing on this, to utilize repairs in a timely manner. When we can't wait for the normal bidding process, if something needs to get fixed right away, we got to act on it for the safety of our staff and the public.
Can I just expand on that just a little bit more? So I'm going to ask one question on a turn. How many bids do you typically get, or will you ask for?
As many that are underneath that scope, but we'll definitely have 3 bids to keep it competitive. Anybody that could quote it on that list will definitely be involved.
I just wanted to reiterate that there's an internal policy that they'll always get multiple bids. They won't just pick one person. They'll always go for the best.
Yes, most responsible, lowest bid, and it will always be referred to the council as well. You will know what we're doing.
Mayor.
Alderman Smedley?
Thank you. I also want to note that the school district is taking partnership in this bid process to allow my department, the facilities and operations department, to easily execute projects that we don't have to run our own separate course of bid work because of the amount of energy involved in it. It'll be a huge help to us, so thank you.
Any additional questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jared, not Eric.
That was easy.
Alderman Malinowski, item number 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 9.
Second from Alderman Santiago.
And this is for a new top dresser in the amount of $21,748 and a wood chipper in the amount of $63,900. And since Mr. Barbieri made his way up here, through you, Your Honor, if I could ask him a few questions.
Well, you should now.
I just did this so you wouldn't have to walk.
I asked for that, didn't I? I asked for it. It's all right, bring it up.
Could you please explain to me what a top dresser is and does?
Thank you. So it's actually a key piece of equipment on a golf course operations. The greens, there's multiple things that have to be done to greens, but one of them is aeration. And that is either slice seeding, where they go in and slice the actual green, or they plug it and take earth out. So then when you go back in and put in the sand to replace that, this is the machine that goes around and works its way into all those holes that you've just made. And the purpose is to reduce compaction, allow for more airflow and water.
And allow all the golfers to complain after you aerate.
Exactly, yep.
I think that's it. Thank you, Your Honor. I urge adoption.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item 10.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt number 10.
I have a second from Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
This is the Overlook McKinley Drive Drainage Improvements Project, Phase 2. I want to applaud the work of Mr. Moriarty, Public Works, for getting this in motion. As you recall, a year ago, August, we heard a lot from the neighborhood, and the city stepped up with $2 million in ARPA money, as well as the available funds with DPW to get the engineering work done and to award a bid. This is, there were 9 bids for this project, with a high of $3.4 million and a low, the winning bid of Colossal, for $2.147 million. And I would urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman McNamara. Are there any questions or comments regarding this item? Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Through you, Your Honor, could Mr. Moriarty come up? This is just too important to have us vote on it without you having some commentary and putting this in perspective. So this is Phase 2, and it's a little over $2 million. Can you talk a little bit about it, the timing of it? When you and I have emailed each other, you said it was this fall. We told the audience. Could you talk a little bit about the time frame for this project?
Yep. We had simplified the project so it can move quicker. The project had a 4x8 box culvert. We went a different way just because so we can get materials quicker, and we put in a second 54-inch pipe parallel to the existing 54-inch pipe. Has the same capacity, but it's a lot more readily available, so we should be able to get started quicker. Once you guys go through and approve this, and we can get Colossal under bid, we'll have a pre-construction meeting with them, and they'll be able to start ordering materials and start getting into construction. We're hopeful that the construction will go through the winter. It's probably favorable on this project to do that because lesser chance to be dealing with rainwater during the construction. What is good is that one of the existing pipes can be kept in place during construction, so that's how we're going to manage water. There's at both ends of the pipe where the pipes tie in, it could be difficult, but we're going to have to work with Colossal on any big drainage project you do. That's something that's true. The project itself really primarily involves about a little over 900 feet of new pipe being installed between Governor and Hale Street. And, I don't know, it's a fairly simple project. We are also doing curbing and sidewalk on both sides of the road within the length of the project.
So, through you, Your Honor. So it's new piping, but also, and forgive me because I don't know much about this, the basins and things like that, what's happening?
It's not, I mean, we are doing work on the basins, but the problem here is that, especially there's one pipe. There's one section of 48-inch pipe it goes from a 72-inch pipe and it eventually goes down to a 48-inch pipe. That's the bottleneck here. And so that's being replaced along with some other pipe, along with adding this second pipe. This is, the drainage system still has limitations. It's going to after we complete this construction. Pipes around the city are designed to a 10-year storm. We're frequently seeing storms that are greatly in excess of that. So I'm not saying that this dramatically increases the capacity here and removes the bottleneck that predominantly causes the flooding on Overlook. So all the work is on McKinley, though. Overlook has no construction happening with this project.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you too, because I think people see work on McKinley, not on Overlook, but not understand that it's all connected through.
We did do a phase 1 project on Overlook. It's really just improving the hydraulics on Overlook at the low point. You see the two pipes come together and we improved how they align, and then they take a 90-degree turn down towards McKinley, ultimately get into Farmington Avenue and then outletting. But we removed the worst issues that are going on this pipe. It's not too dissimilar what we just did on some smaller projects. So I mean, I think this is going to make a great improvement here. I can never say this is going to improve every situation because some of the flooding that we're seeing is just so extraordinary that, you know, all bets are off on that. But
So again, through you, Your Honor, it came up in our caucus. Alderman Pabon was concerned because of the pitch of the street. I guess it's straight and then it dips and then it goes again. So that doesn't affect the piping that's underneath and how the water's going to flow.
no, I mean that's like, it's the pitch of a pipe is independent of the pitch of a road.
So I just wanted you to put that on the record.
That is a true statement.
Okay, and that Overlook had been paved, so people were concerned that paving happened there when this project was going to happen, but that's because no digging work is happening on Overlook.
Nothing happening on Overlook.
And you're having a meeting with the residents about this project?
Yep, on the 19th, Thursday the 19th in room 504 in City Hall. We sent out a ton of letters. We hope and get good attendance. We did this similar meeting in the spring. We didn't really have the attendance you'd expect for a project that's gotten this much press and input, but we're hoping to we really want to get the residents out there so they understand the construction, understand it. We did simplify this project when we were looking at this project based on the consultant's design in the spring. It was a pretty complicated project. We made the decision to go a different way. We talked to the consultant about it. They agreed it was a better approach. So the construction is going to be have less impact on the McKinley residents.
And one last question through
go
Your
quicker.
Honor. When the work starts, what is the time frame for completion?
This project should, everything goes well, we get the materials, this project should be done by, say, June, July next year.
That long?
Yeah, it's
Actually kind of quick.
I mean it could, it's still big pipe work. It's gonna and winter construction, it's just hard to say we're gonna have good construction all year round. I mean, typically a project like this, underground work, you close down in the winter. I think with this project, it makes a lot of sense to have it go through the winter, but, the conditions are gonna dictate that a little too.
So it's 6 months? Longer than 6 months to complete the project?
I think that having it be done by late spring, early next summer, I think is a good estimate on my part.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Moriarty? Alderman McNamara?
Just Mark, just quickly, I see there were 9 bids, which you got a healthy number of bids for this project.
Yeah.
And the variance was a high of 3.4 million versus the Colasol company's 2.147 million. Do you usually get that? Well, you don't do these projects every day, but were you surprised by the variance?
Not so much by the variance. We're actually surprised we got as many bids as that we got, because we don't always, in bidding projects this time of year, a lot of contractors are busy. So sometimes you don't get as many bids bidding a project in the summer. But we're very happy. We got good competitive bids. We worked with Colasol on other projects. You know, we've talked to them about the importance of the project. They understand it. They understand it's high profile. They understand a lot of residents are very concerned about this project. They need to step up and do a good job here.
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Malinowski, item 11.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 11.
Second by Alderman Santiago.
And this is for design services and for construction and engineering inspection of the Beeline Trail Project Phase 2 in the amount of $348,527.77 to SLR International Corporation. And it is fully federally grant funded, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on item 11? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item 12.
Thank you, Your Honor. Make a motion to accept and adopt number 12.
Seconded by Alderman Simpson.
This is the $13,490,000 project, consistent with the flush plan, I believe, in section C8, C9. I think the mayor's office provided a map of this location, so I think we may have to have a friendly amendment on the location in the resolution. But I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Did you want to make that amendment?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes, in the fourth whereas, this area to be reached is on the east side, and I believe the southeastern portion of the city, if my Boy Scout training is correct, to the west of John Downey Drive, on down to South Street, up in the area of Roosevelt School.
Yep.
And this is the ongoing attempt to adhere to the EPA requirements, to get the lead out of the pipes, and to get to as many places as we can, funding permitted. So I urge adoption. Oh, the amendment, I'm sorry. Let's take the amendment first.
So I have a,
So instead of western, substitute southeastern for western.
do I have a second? Second. A second from Alderwoman Sanchez. Any questions or comments on the amendment?
So these.
You got that, Mr. Clerk? All those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Back to the item as amended once. Alderman McNamara, are you good?
Unless I'll defer to Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
I don't often, but I will.
Let's start a trend, Jen. Just want to make sure you're not going to table this one, John, that's all. Mr. Moriarty, since we're spending, what, $13 million here, we might as well talk a little bit about that. How many phases are actually to this, the flush?
I mean, there's 5 phases identified, really, but I mean, this project, it's phase 3. It's really, the first 2 phases were a 20% of the cost of this one. This one could have been 4 phases in itself. It worked out 3 phases. This is the 3rd phase, just because we're doing this all together as one project. Yeah, this is right now, what's really identified by our existing analysis that we've done so far, we call it 5 phases, but I mean, there's sewer lines around the entire city that ultimately need to get lined, so this is gonna go on and on, so.
Okay, so when you say all the phases so far that you've identified the 5, that doesn't encompass the entire city?
That's
those
not
5
even
phases?
close.
Okay, because I was going to say, this is a big one, but it takes up a very small amount of space, actually, in terms
Yeah.
of what's happening. Oh, where did I want to go with this? Oh, Alderman McNamara talked about clean water, but this is actually sewer, not water that we're talking about, so.
It's a sewer project.
So it's not about the lead in the pipes then?
It's about, this project is about removing clean water from getting into the sewer pipes and getting delivered to the Mattabesset treatment plant for treatment, especially during these peak high-intensity rain events, when the amount of water that gets delivered to the Mattabesset treatment plant exceeds the capacity to fully treat the water, and then you have millions of gallons that get put into the Connecticut River without full treatment.
Can you talk a little bit about how the stormwater relates to this?
I mean, let's see, they all relate. I mean, it is, let's see. I mean, there's some things that are direct relations where you inadvertently have stormwater lines tied into a sewer line. That's a part of I&I removal, where you have private source removal, you have roof leaders, you have sump pumps, different things that get rooted into the sewer line. So part of what we're doing, and this is something that we're doing that a lot of communities wouldn't do, but if you didn't do, you wouldn't have the results, is that we're going into private homes, we're redoing laterals, we're taking out those private connections, we're doing it at our cost. So it's a big thing. We did a lot of I&I work in the 90s and early 2000s. At that point, technology-wise, and also just the desire to go through and to get into private properties, we didn't go do anything really but line the mains and some manholes. We didn't have the removal that we had. We spent a lot of money. We had very little results for it because we have really found that a lot of the infiltration, a lot of the clean water that gets into the pipes gets in from the laterals in the private source. So this is the few projects that we've done so far, which is a fairly minimal investment, it's about $4 million. We saw last year how our rates increased with Mattabesset compared to, we were essentially flat compared to the other communities. And that was just we didn't expect to have any kind of really noticeable impact with how our flows were compared to the other communities this quickly, so.
Yeah, when Art Simonian was here, he actually mentioned that and
Yeah.
commended the city for that. So this saves us money too. Well, thank you. Those are my questions.
Anyone else? Questions for Mr. Moriarty? Alderman Simpson?
Excuse me.
Thank you. Mr. Moriarty, we had somebody in public participation cite a number of an amount of water being lost each year. Is this new relining going to contribute to that, or?
No, I mean, basically, so, I mean, we've done this a couple times. It's kind of off the question, so it's but basically, so you have breaks in your water system, and about every 5 years, you need to go around and you need to do underground radar to detect leaks, and you need to clean up your system. The first time we did this was 6-7 years ago, and we just noticed that we had about a million gallons a day of water that we knew we were producing, and what we were selling to customers, there was a gap there. So we went up and we sealed the system. We've just done the same thing recently. We haven't done a lot of the repairs yet, but that's where that happens. Your system isn't completely tight.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mark. Alderman McNamara, item number 13.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 13, I make a motion to accept and adopt.
I have a second from Alderwoman Sanchez.
This is related to the previous resolution, I believe, at a cost of $600,000 for construction inspection services for Phase 3, C8 and C9, rehab and I&I removal. And I urge a second for adoption. That hasn't been.
Thank you, Alderman. It was Alderwoman Sanchez.
Okay. On the motion, could I ask Mr. Moriarty to come up once more? And Mark, is this sort of the equivalent of a clerk of the works to make sure everything's copacetic with this
This is
project?
just, this is construction inspection, so we've, yeah, it's just basically going out, making sure the contractor did what the contractor is supposed to do, that the construction is in adherence with the specifications. Yeah, it's most times, I mean, we reduced this pretty significantly. We're actually taking the construction administration on in-house with our own staff, which was a big savings. But this is pretty much, you had a similar resolution before you, like for SLR a little bit earlier, just making sure the contractor does what's in the bid specs.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Connors, item 14.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 14.
Seconded by Alderman Gibson.
Thank you. This resolution provides for the establishment of the 2025 subway utility line rental rate in New Britain as recommended by the Board of Public Works following a public meeting on August 26, 2024. It's paid for by the entities renting the space, who will be charged the approved rate of $3.13 per linear foot for the period January 1, 25 through December 31, 2025. This resolution will set the official rental rate for 2025, ensuring consistent application of rental fees, and for these reasons, I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Connors. Are there any questions or comments on this? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item 15.
How did I get all these? Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt number 15.
Seconded by Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
This is Public Works additional request for Cardinal Engineering to do $80,000 worth of engineering service for the Allen Street Drainage Improvement Project. And again, I urge adoption, but I have one more question for Mr. Moriarty.
Yep.
Mark, it's been referenced, I'm sure you know, the subsystem, the Eaton plate that Mr. Chase has talked about with us. This Allen Street project, does any of the engineering work cover the what's known as the subsystem? And do you think the source of the problem is entirely that 100-year-old pipe under Allen Street that causes the surrounding streets
I do
to
have a
flood?
draft drainage report from Cardinal, and so that system, basically, I mean, it meets a 10-year storm. It is not a cause of flooding. It is the flooding that occurs over there is really related to the 24-inch pipe on Allen Street that needs to actually become a 66-inch pipe on Allen Street. Yeah, that other system, I mean, it still has that 10-year storm design that all of the pipes in the city really are based on, and some of them are 10-year storm, but then they got added onto as the city developed, so the downstream pipes really don't have enough capacity. But that subsystem, yeah, it's not problematic to the point where you are going to make sense to go in there and do a project specifically on that subsystem.
Yeah, so in our walkthrough several months ago,
Yeah.
in preparation for state bonding,
Yeah.
the problem starts at Allen and flows into Hampton, Newbury, Roxbury, Brighton, all those streets.
It does.
And so it's not that would be a separate study to see what that subsystem is all about.
Well,
Or is it part of the overall plan on flush? And you don't have to answer right away.
I think
We-
probably, when this was looked at probably 15 years ago, there was some because of the amount of rock that you need to overcome on Allen Street to get this pipe that's, over 4 feet or from 24 inches up to a 66-inch pipe. Like, there was a look at, is there an alternate route that we should try and take for this pipe instead of just going down Allen Street? So I think that's where there's some confusion. I think we looked at taking a route over by Roxbury to try and avoid some of the rock. And that was determined to not make sense as an alignment for the pipe. And when we've just looked independently at the system over by Roxbury, that system itself is, it has capacity to the point of, like, it wouldn't be a priority project just to do that. It has as much capacity as any other neighborhood in the city.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Moriarty? Thank you, Mark. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman Scott.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 16.
Second by Alderman Russell.
This resolution is for the New Britain Public Works Utility Division. They're seeking specialized relining services from Green Mountain Pipeline Services LLC for the relining of galvanized steel storm pipe. The existing storm pipe was tested through the CCTV, inspected, and it exposed that the pipeline is non-existing, resulting in sinkholes on the road and the surface, creating a safety hazard for the community. Funding for this project is available within the New Britain Public Works Division Clean Water Fund, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Are there any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Simpson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I rise to accept and adopt item number 17.
Seconded by Alderman Hargraves.
Thank you. This is the standing order purchase of sand for snow and ice control for city streets during the 2024-2025 winter season for $15.60 per cubic yard for the Public Works Department, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this bid? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I have Alderwoman Scott who would like a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to share some information regarding the petition that I submitted tonight. The holidays will be coming soon, and New Britain is such a diverse city that I think that it will really attribute to the city celebrating Hanukkah and Kwanzaa along with Christmas this year. I've been working and talking with the NAACP, the Downtown District, and Dana Snail, who I think most of you probably know. She's got a nickname for the Queen of Kwanzaa, I heard. And a few other residents here in New Britain from the Jewish community, along with the city of New Haven, who have been guiding me and giving me information about how they do this in their city. So I pray this year we will have a beautiful festivity downtown where we can all learn and celebrate together and just have a good time. So thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Made by Alderman Santiago, seconded by Alderman Simpson. It's 8:39. We're adjourned.